just being live streamed at the moment, so it will be roughly a 40-minute session today. And anyway, everything is off, it's just being live streamed. So just a quick intro. So meditation is just bringing our attention to our natural state of being. And so we're using different techniques to help us concentrate our attention and bring it to that space of being within ourselves. And so today we'll be using first the breath meditation, then followed by third eye meditation, and then a self-inquiry contemplation, meaning just resting our attention in that space, in that meditative natural space of being within ourselves. So just making yourself comfortable, making sure there's not many distraction, or your phone's on silent or switched off. And just closing your eyes in your own time. And as you close your eyes, just bringing your attention to the breath. As you inhale, you can feel that sensation of air coming in through the nostrils as you inhale. And as you exhale, you can feel that sensation of air moving back out the nostrils as you exhale. Breathing in, you can feel the air coming in through the nostril. Breathing out, you feel that sensation of air moving back out the nostrils as you exhale. And so in this meditation, we're just simply allowing our attention to be at the nostril area. And as we inhale, we just observe the breath coming in, observe that sensation of air coming in through the nostril. And as you exhale, you're just watching that sensation of air moving back out the nostrils as you exhale. So the key to this meditation is simply remaining just aware, just watching, just observing the breath as it is moment to moment, not having to change the breath in any way, not altering the breath in any way, just observing the breath as it is moment to moment. As you breathe in, you feel that sensation of air coming in through the nostril. As you exhale, you're just watching the breath moving out, observing the different sensations you feel as you inhale and exhale naturally. Watching the breath coming in, watching the breath going out. And when your attention will naturally wander, to thoughts, to different sensations in the body, to different emotions or sounds or sense impressions. And each time you notice your attention is not with the breath, just see where your attention is in that moment. Is your attention with some thought? Do you find part of your identity reacting to that thought? Are you trying to push that thought away or hold on to it? Is there some inner narrative, some inner story around that thought, creating a different chain of thoughts, emotions, memories, projections? Just to observe what's happening within you in this moment, and then gently bring your attention after you have looked at that particular thought, emotion, and just been present to it without judging it, just seeing it as it is. And then bring your attention back to the breath, back to the nostril area, and back to just watching the breath coming in and out. Each time when your attention wanders, just notice when your attention is not with the breath, when you find your attention is with some thought, or you're getting caught up in some thought, there's some chain of thinking, or some emotions, or some other sense impressions. When you notice your attention is not with the breath, in that moment, there's an opportunity to be consciously aware. You can take a step back and just be aware, just be present to that particular experience you're having in the moment. And instead of being caught up in it, unconsciously caught up in these habitual patterns of thoughts, emotions, experiences, instead you can just observe it, just be present to it, just hold it within one space. Just see that experience is occurring within one's own presence, within one's own awareness. Just observe that inner story that's maybe playing out within oneself, that inner narrative, that personal story that may be created through them thoughts and emotions. And to, in this moment, just be consciously aware to observe that as it occurs moment to moment. And then gently, after you've observed that experience, gently bring your attention back to the nostrils and back to the breath being an anchor to anchor your attention, to stabilize your attention concentration. And slowly you'll find your attention stays with the breath for longer periods of time. No longer your attention is habitually moving to each and every thought. Still, thoughts may appear, but they don't have that pull on the attention with time as you practice. You see, just it's a fleeting thought, a fleeting movement of experience within oneself. If you try to grasp onto it, if you identify and react to that particular thought or experience, it creates another chain of thinking, chain of experience. Instead, just see that thought as it appears, be present to it, and then bring your attention to the breath. Instead of identifying, reacting to each and every thought and experience, allowing your attention to scatter and move out to each and every experience. Instead, centering within oneself, centering on the breath, allowing your attention to stabilize as you watch the breath coming in and out, and slowly feeling a deep sense of tranquility, deep sense of calmness within the body and mind. With time, your breathing slows down, your breathing becomes calmer, relaxed, And then your body and breath starts to calm down. Your mind starts to calm down. And you experience that stillness, that gap in between experiences within oneself. And so now we'll be moving to the next part of the meditation. It's the third eye meditation. And so if you wish to carry on with the breath and just be aware of the breath, and each time your attention moves to different thoughts and experiences, just observe, be present to that experience, and then bring the attention back to the breath. So now I'll be moving to the third eye meditation. If you wish to follow with the breath, continue with the breath meditation, you can do. If you wish to follow my next instructions, then please do so. At any time, you can come back to the breath to help center you if you find yourself this technique, next technique difficult, or you don't feel comfortable at this moment. So the next technique is you're still aware of the breath at the nostril area. But as we breathe in, we're feeling the breath as a flow of energy. And as you inhale, you're feeling that flow of energy move up the nostrils to the point in between the eyebrows. And as you exhale, you're just allowing your attention to rest at the space in between the eyebrows. So as you inhale, feeling the breath as a flow of energy, as you're breathing in the life force energy itself, the energy of the universe through the nostril, through into the point in between the eyebrows. And as you exhale, just allowing your attention and the energy to develop, to rest at the space in between the eyebrows. And just breathing in and out in this way, visualizing the breath as a flow of energy, visualizing that energy concentrating at the point in between the eyebrows. And as you exhale, feeling that energy gather and move inwards from the point in between the eyebrows as you exhale. Feeling your attention rest, absorb at the space in between the eyebrows. Breathing in, feeling that life force energy go to the point in between the eyebrows. Breathing out, just allowing your attention and energy to rest, to gather at the space in between the eyebrows. And with your physical eyes closed, you may feel as though your physical eyes are looking upwards to the point in between the eyebrows with your eyes closed. Having a relaxed, gentle gaze, not creating too much tension as you focus at the point in between the eyebrows. If you feel some tension, then come back to the breath and then move back to the third eye. So just like a gentle gazing, you can gently gaze upwards to this point in between the eyebrows. You're feeling that life force and your attention gather at this space. And then when you feel your attention is sort of focused at this space in between the eyebrows in a gentle manner, but still attentive and aware, then you can let go of visualizing the energy coming through the breath. And you can just allow your attention just to rest now at the space in between the eyebrows. So if you feel your attention sort of gathering at this space in between the eyebrows, then you can drop visualizing the breath and the energy flowing with the inhalation and exhalation, and just allow your attention just to rest now at this space in between the eyebrows. And as the attention and energy builds at the space in between the eyebrows, you're just observing, feeling as though you're inwardly observing any experience from this space in between the eyebrows. So this is the third eye energy center. As your physical eyes look outwards, this inner eye connects to the inner dimension, the inner space within oneself. Connects you to the formless dimensions within oneself. Outer eyes looking at the physical dimension. And this will connect you to your own subtler dimensions within oneself. And so with your attention just rested at this space in between the eyebrows, feeling as though you're looking into the center of the brain, into your inner space, aware of the body and the sensations in the body, feeling as though you're looking inwards from this point in between the eyebrows, looking into oneself, into the center of the brain, into the entire body from head to toe, aware of the different sensations in the body. And then from this point in between the eyebrows, we're feeling like we're trying to connect to that space, that sense of space within oneself, that sense of presence within oneself, which holds the body together, in which the thoughts and experiences appear and disappear. So as we look inwards from this point in between the eyebrows and look into oneself, first looking into the physical body, and then trying to connect to that dimension of space, that space which holds this body, that space in which these thoughts and sensations and emotions and memories appear and disappear within. In that way, we start to connect to our own presence, our own existential space, beyond the psychological mind. So this movement of experience, these thoughts, sensations, impressions from the senses, they sort of have a form. The thoughts have a form, thought structure, have a certain energy, vibration to them, emotions, sensations, all have a particular form which appear within that inner space. They play for some time, your attention moves to them, different forms, and then the forms dissolve back into that inner space. And there's a gap, small gap there in between experiences of silence, of just presence. And then another experience arises, another thought arises, impression, sensation arises. The attention moves to that. So you can observe this occurring within oneself from the third eye, looking inwards, observing what's happening within oneself. Thoughts are arising, staying for some time, your attention moving to them thoughts. There's a sense of identity which may come up, sense of self-image you create within your psychological mind. The sense of me, I, which sort of interacts with these thoughts. And even this sense of me, I, also is just another thought. If you look deeply into oneself, even this sense of I, this sense of self-image that appears is just another thought structure, a conditioned thought structure developed through past experiences, beliefs, and projections of the future. Just observing now within oneself what's occurring. And realizing that all experiences have a certain form and they appear and disappear. And try to sort of penetrate that experience, your present moment experience, and see the truth behind it. That's just another experience, just another movement within one's inner space. And then as you go beyond experience, as you go beyond thought, you start to connect to that thoughtless presence within oneself, like connecting to that space or presence, that space in which sensations appear, that space in which thoughts and experiences appear and disappear, that calm, still, unchanging, undisturbed space within oneself, presence within oneself. Just like your outer space or the sky, many objects may move in the outer space. In the sky, many clouds may come and go, but the sky remains unaffected, is unchanged. It holds them clouds, it holds them objects within it. In the same way, connecting to that inner space within oneself, in which these manifestations, in which these forms of thoughts, impressions appear, even this sense of I and the self image identity also that appears within this space and then disappears. And only this space of presence, this stillness within oneself is unchanging, is constant, is ever present. The thoughts about oneself, the thoughts about the world, the emotions and sensations are continually changing, not permanent in nature. So just realizing that within oneself. And now we move to the last part of the meditation, is where you can start to let go of practicing any technique, whether it's the breath or concentrating your attention at the third eye. If you feel comfortable now, you can drop doing any technique, and it's just simply just to sit with oneself now, and just to rest in that sense of space, a sense of presence within oneself. And so just being aware in this moment where your attention is. Is your attention with some thought, emotion, some sense impression, sound, some sensation in the body? Where's your attention in this moment? Is there any sense of identification, reaction to that present moment experience? Is a part of the identity sort of coming up, creating a narrative around that particular thought or emotion or experience? If it is so, just be aware of that. And also that part of oneself which is judging and analyzing, also that part of oneself can be seen in this moment. It's another movement, it's another experience, it's another form just appearing within oneself. It's not who you truly are. It's just an aspect of one's identity. And just in this moment, just seeing where your attention is, just seeing, observing the particular experience you're having, observing any part of the identity, reacting to that experience or creating a personal sense of story around that experience. And then shifting the attention to that sense of space or presence within oneself, that space which holds that present moment experience, connecting to that stillness, a sense of just being aware, present, shifting your attention then from focusing on the experience to focusing on the space, on the sense of just witnessing, being aware. And so then you don't have to consciously be aware of every experience, but you start to recognize that space. Your awareness moves, your attention moves to into that space of presence in which experiences come and go, in that space of stillness, in that state of peace within oneself, which holds all experience, in which all experiences come and go, in which even the sense of identity, the sense of separation appears and disappears. And that space of presence within oneself is completely unified. There's no sense of separation, no sense of division. That sense of space presence just naturally is. It's not something that you have to do or create within yourself, but it's just a natural presence, a natural space which is always there within oneself. It's the very source, the very core essence of oneself. It's like the projector screen, the blank projector screen in which there's a projection of images, projection of form. In the same way, there's a projection of thought, of identity, of separation, of past, future, on this still presence within oneself. This space within oneself is like a canvas, empty canvas. It's empty yet full in the same time. All forms of experience arise from this space within oneself and disappear, dissolve back in that space within oneself. Allowing your attention, instead of focusing on each and every experience, each and every form, allowing your attention to rest in this formless space of presence within oneself. Still thoughts, experiences may come and go, but they just seem like a wave, just seem like a movement or projection within one's inner space. Only when we catch on to the sense of identity, the sense of me as a personal image, personal identity, and then we react to the thoughts, react to the emotions. These are mine. Our perception narrows, and we think we are our experiences instead of seeing them as they are, just movements within one's consciousness. And instead, we bring our attention to that space of presence within oneself. That unified space of just existing, just being here and now, beyond thought. It's not something you're doing or trying to achieve, but it's just a natural state of being, which is there all the time, ever present. Only the attention gets caught up in the experience of thought, in form, past, future. But that ground of being is always present. and recognizing that you see there's no separation from you and existence. Life itself is expressing itself through this body, through this form, in its own unique way. There's only a sense of separation as you move back into identity, move back into thought. Just feeling that peace emanating from one's natural state of being, a sense of calmness, connection, a natural joy to just be. Being itself is joy, love, peace, not to be found in any object of thought or experience. But what you're looking for is just that natural ground of being within oneself, just to touch that space, touch that eternal, timeless space within oneself. And so now we'll be finishing with the meditation. So slowly just bringing your attention now to the physical body, just being aware of the physical body and the different sensations in the body. And then being aware of the breath, watching the breath as you inhale, exhale, and then just observing any thought that's appearing in this moment. Then moving your attention to the senses, aware of the sense of touch on the skin with the clothing, the sense of temperature on the skin, and feeling your connection to the earth beneath you, releasing any excess energy down the feet, down into the earth, and feeling the earth energy rising up into the physical body. Then aware of any sense of taste or smell, then aware of any sound you may perceive, the sound of your own breathing or heartbeat, sounds inside, outside the room. Slowly moving the hands, the feet, and then in your own time, opening your eyes in your own time, opening your eyes. So just taking your time after this session, taking some water, some food, fruit to help ground you, spending some time for introspection if necessary, and slowly just opening your eyes, slowly opening your eyes in your own time. Okay, so thank you all for coming. Sorry, can't take any questions really and answers today because we're not on a Zoom call, and it's only being streamed through um, YouTube. Sorry if anybody missed this session because of the issue with Zoom. Um, yeah, so the next event will be next Sunday at 2 p.m. I will try to sort this Zoom issue out. If not, then I'll let you know ahead of time. Then we'll just be live streaming probably. Um, so yeah, thank you all for coming and take care.